Hi Cancer, this is your horoscope for July 2017. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Now from the 24th of June until the 20th of August, the Sun, which is your identity, conjuncts Mars. Mars being the archetypal male principle. And when they conjunct, they blend their energies together and they become a mishmash of each other. Okay? So the Sun is in your sign of Cancer. Happy birthday, by the way. Mars is in your sign of Cancer, and Mercury is also in Cancer, and all of those are in your first house. Okay, so you're going to be really comfortable in your own skin. The Sun is in Cancer, so you really feel that the things that you do naturally are really supported, being nurturing, being supportive, spending time with family, being caring and looking out for other people's well-being is going to be of major interest to you. You also have Mars in Cancer, and Mars is going to make that desire to be of service even stronger. Mercury as well means that you communicate very emotionally, and you're also very able to pick up on what other people are saying, and you're able to pick up on what people may not want to say outright. So you can read between the lines and really pick up on sensitive things. If people are struggling, you're really in a position to pick up on that and to really support and help others. On the 5th of July, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, she moves into Gemini in your 12th house. So Venus in Gemini is really positive, really optimistic. It's interested in discovering new things. If you look at the glyph of Gemini, it's a Roman numeral 2 and it looks like a doorway. Okay, so Venus, the planet, the goddess of love, she'll want to discover, she'll want to learn, she'll want to walk through every doorway there is to find something that is pleasing and that she loves. Okay, and this is in your 12th house of spirituality. So if you're someone, if you're a Cancer who has been looking for a spiritual practice, a daily spiritual practice, and you really haven't found one that works for you just yet, this is your time, this is your month, because Venus stays in Gemini all month. Okay, so I had to do this when I started meditating. I had to find different things that worked for me. So I tried mindfulness meditation, which drove me up the wall. I tried Zen meditation. I tried Buddhist meditation. I did the Who Am I meditation by Ramana Maharshi. Then I did Transcendental meditation by Maharishi. That's why I got mixed up, because the names are so similar. And I found the meditation technique that works for me. Okay, so when I meditate, which I do every day, I feel relaxed, I feel like I'm being restored, and I feel like I'm diving down from the surface level of my mind, which is about plug in your phone and go shopping and iron your shirt, and I dive down to my higher self and the stream of life, the stream of consciousness. And by doing that, I'm restored, and I feel like I have a connection with spirit that makes me feel strengthened and alive. Okay, so if it's hard work, if you have a meditation practice at the moment where you have to concentrate and it feels really hard, that's not the right one. It should feel restorative. So this is the month for Cancers who haven't found their meditation technique yet to find it, because Venus will help you and will make this process of learning and discovery and researching really fun, and you'll love it and you'll enjoy it. And I really think this is the time for you, if you've struggled with that, to do some more research. Those who seek in July, those Cancers who seek spiritual techniques will find in July. Okay, now on the 7th of July, Mercury, the communication planet, that moves into Leo, so it comes out of Cancer, where it was in your first house, in your sign, and it moves into Leo in your second house. So the tendency to, the ability to really be in touch with your own feelings and to really be completely at peace within yourself ends to a certain extent, and what you now focus on is really communicating in a very public way when it comes to your career and finance. So that Mercury will really, really support anyone who is in a position that requires power for self-employment, being self-motivated. It also supports anyone who has to do public work, where you're in the public arena in some way, where you have to do presentations or you have to get up on stage. If you're a performer on stage, or if you're an actor, or if you're a salesperson, that Mercury in Leo is really, really going to support you, because you are going to get your point across very easily, and you're going to be much louder and much more communicative than you usually would be. That lasts until the 26th of July. So from the 7th until the 26th. On the 26th, Mercury goes into Virgo in your third, and it completely changes then. What you do from the 26th onward is to try and make sense of information that has to do with the spiritual things that you've discovered. You're going to research and learn about spirituality more towards the end of the month, which goes along with that Venus in your 12th. So Venus is there all month, okay? So that spiritual discovery is really, really, that's going to be a fun and loving process for you all month. Venus distracts you a little bit from it though when it's in Leo. Mercury in Leo distracts you from that from the 7th until the 26th, but Mercury in Virgo from the 26th of July onwards going into August, that supports your Venus, who is doing all of the spiritual research. Okay, so the first 7 days of July and the last 5 days of July, Venus is supported by Mercury, and it makes it even stronger. You're gonna find out a lot. You're gonna get a lot of answers. Even with that Venus, I wouldn't sweat it too much, because it makes you someone who's able to communicate publicly, but you can still do the inner work. So don't feel like you're being distracted. You can do both. And if you have a choice, if you're someone who really wants to find a meditation practice that works and focus on that, if you're someone who wants to go to Oxford High Street and sell a ton of merchandise in a pop-up shop, then do that. Okay? It depends on how you want to use that energy. On the 9th of July through until the 26th of July, Mars begins to square Uranus. Now Mars is still in your sign of Cancer in the first, giving you that ability to move forward and to really feel comfortable in your own skin. Uranus is in Aries, is in your 10th. So Uranus is energy and electricity. It's like a plug and putting it into a socket. It makes things come alive. In Aries, it's about pushing through obstacles, and it's in your 10th house of career. It forms this relationship now with Mars in your first. So really, it gives you a huge boost when it comes to making your work happen, your career happen, and bringing in income. So the two main blessings here you've got, Cancer, this month are heightened spiritual connection and success in work. And you can do both. You can focus on one if you only want focus on one, or you can focus on both if you want to. So you are someone who's really going to be blessed here in July with lots of different things where you can make, well, those two areas where you can really make a lot of progress. On the 9th of July, we also have a full moon in Capricorn, and I'm going to make a separate video about this. Have a look at that, because the full moons can be quite complicated. But the full moon in Capricorn happens in your 7th house, and Pluto is on top of it. So the full moon is a completion point. It's when the moon showers us with its energy, and it's going to it's going to ask you whether you need to do any work on your relationship, whether you need to work to be in a relationship, to get out of a relationship, to improve a relationship. That's the question. It's all about relationship and the changes that you would possibly like to make. So that applies to single people, to people who've been married, to people who are in relationships. It applies to everybody, because that full moon with Pluto sitting on top of it gives you the opportunity to make a change within that relationship so that you feel more fulfilled and heard and like the relationship is equal. So if there's been an ongoing problem, like on a Friday night your partner goes to the pub with his friends and you're sitting alone on a Friday and you really dislike that, because Friday is a time when you'd like to spend time with your boyfriend and go out. Then you could mention it to him, say, I work really hard all week, I'd like to spend Friday nights with you. Is there a way to change schedules that you and the lads go to the pub on a Saturday instead of a Friday, because Friday nights are important to me? And if that's the kind of change that you want to make, there's really the potential here during this full moon that the other person is going to be receptive to the changes you're requesting. Okay, so if there are changes, go for it, ask, make it happen, because you're going to do well. If you're single, then this is also a really good time to date and to look for that soulmate, to look for that kindred spirit. So that's the energy you'll continue working with during July. Then on the 21st of July, Mars moves into Leo. And Mars has been in Cancer in your first house. It now goes into Leo in your second. So the focus shifts now more from the emotional side of things, and it shifts more into the career side of things. So the end of the month here, the last kind of 10 days here of July, you're really going to be focused on making progress in your career and increasing your financial draw, what it is you're making. You're really going to be very ambitious and driven to succeed. Mars will really push you to make things happen in your working life. And then on the 23rd of July, we have the new moon in Leo, and that also happens in your second, okay? The new moon is, and there will be a separate video on this as well, the new moon pulls in energy to get ready for its next cycle. It's pulling in this Leo energy, and for you, that manifests itself as huge power, huge drive to really create abundance and prosperity via your working life. So you will have lots of ideas and lots of ambition and desire to make things happen there now. And that's going into August. So don't go on holiday here in July and in August. There's a great potential for you to do very, very well in terms of your finances. That's what I get for you in July. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com, and I can draw up your birth chart by looking at your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise. And that allows me to look at what your life purpose is, what your vocational aptitudes are, and I can also have a look at your progress chart, your transits, and your astrocartography if you're thinking of moving, to think of to have a look at what's coming up for you in future. So in terms of your love life or your career, or in terms of your health, family, we can look at what the future trends are. So if you'd like to do that, get in touch with me via the website to book your reading. It's gregoryscott.com. If you like my videos and you'd like to support me, then please click the subscribe button. It's really important to me. And I will speak to you next month.